Good evening. Welcome to the Village Board meeting for Monday, May 20th, 2024. Can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Boyce? Here. Martin? Here. Dole? Here. Crockett? Here. Geske? Here. Due to the absence of Mayor Nugent, I ask for a motion to appoint a Mayor Pro Tem for tonight's meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that it be Joel Geske.
I need it put in a motion, and I needed the name of who you're making a motion to make.
I'm making a motion to appoint Trustee Geske as Mayor Pro Tem.
And I'll second that.
Crockett?
Yes.
Dole?
Yes.
Boyce?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
And Geske? Motion approved.
Okay, the first item on this evening's agenda is public participation. First person who has signed up is Francine Fatima.
Good evening. It's twofold what I will speak about. Thank you. Maybe. Okay. My usual subject is Goshen. No Goshen. And that's what I firmly believe. And the concerned citizens of Manteno believe it as well. But today I'm going to talk to you about a road, Cypress. Well, actually it's called street, but right now it's not much of anything. But 5 years ago, I wrote a letter to the editor. And I said this. Today, on the way to 2 doctor's appointments, I was appalled at the condition of Cypress Road. Again, 5 years ago. Get it fixed. It's pothole city. 1 mile of treacherous road that is between 6,000 and 7,000. And our local elected officials in Manteno and Bourbonnais seem to ignore the danger this situation is to residents. We waited patiently for 3.5 years for that road to be reopened. Due to the heavy trucks rolling during construction of the new Bourbonnais Parkway, that stretch of Cypress now needs to be paved with a center line, with reflectors and new shoulders. Honestly, nothing was done except the tarring or asphalt, whatever you call the stuff. It's just waiting an accident to happen. So I am going to send this to the paper again. And I'm talking to you who have the authority to do something about it. I know it's split between Bourbonnais and Manteno, but 5 years, it's appalling. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person is Mike Berry.
Hello, thank you. I come here tonight to ask a couple questions. I built a house in Eagles Landing. My mother passed away. I built my father's house right next door to Eagles Landing. Well, now I have new neighbors in Eagles Landing that decide to drive their minivan at speeds of excess of 50 miles an hour while my son is out there playing baseball. There's been 2 police reports done on that same minivan. I have people that I don't know who they are, where they came from, walking down the middle of my road at nighttime while I have kids out there playing. If anybody wants to see pictures, I'd be more than happy to produce pictures of it. When we were told by Jerry Kerwick, that was supposed to be for executive housing. There's 7, which I witnessed and I have it on camera, 7 to 9 people living in one house. They're not executives. There's kids playing up and down the road. My son drives his bike up and down the road. Bill lives right across the street from me, witnesses it. I just want to know, we've contacted the police, we've done everything we can. I mean, who vets these people that come over here? Nobody knows who it is. Nobody does. Not one of you can answer that question. When the policeman come to my house and I showed him the picture, he said, I would be nervous of that too, Mrs. Dole. I would be very nervous of that, seeing 7 men dressed in all black with hoods walking down the middle of your road in Manteno. But this is nothing we can do about it. Nothing I can do about it, nothing my neighbor Bill can do about it, nothing that my father can do about it, or the other neighbors until someone gets hurt. And that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen with that group of individuals. It's just not correct that the working man goes to work every day, pays his taxes, does everything correctly, builds his forever home, builds a home for his father, and then has to move in and has to deal with something that was completely and 100% out of our control. And I'm not for it. I'm against it. You can say what you want. But I would be pretty confident that any one of you in this room that lived in that neighborhood and witnessed that would have the same questions that I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Next gentleman is Bob Forsyth.
I have a question tonight. It doesn't take anybody to say yes or no. Just raise your hands. You guys think you represent the residents of Manteno? I guess not. Nobody can raise their hand. Pretty obvious, isn't it? How do we do permits that are TDB?
I can answer that.
Perfect. Don't take my time up. You got to answer fast.
Yeah, absolutely. What was your question?
How do you issue permits to have TDB?
What are you referring to?
The Goshen permits, the permits that have been over there.
The Goshen permit, that property is in the enterprise zone, which has been in
So
the
they're
enterprise zone for
exempt?
Can I answer your question? That property's been in the enterprise zone for 30 years, along with Hogan Walker, ABC Supply, all those, that's how that got developed. That was an enterprise zone created to expand development, and TBD means to be determined because there could be thousands of inspections done on that project. And once we do all those inspections, we'll determine what those cost because it's going to be an outside firm that be performing those inspections.
So they don't pay any tax, they don't pay any permit fees.
No, because they're in the enterprise zone, which was established 30 years ago.
Perfect, but the guy that sells his house that doesn't have a sidewalk has to pay to put a sidewalk in.
You could build a business in the enterprise zone, you get the same benefits.
Works out well, but it's just nice to see that nobody could raise their hand. Nobody represents the residents of Manteno. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. You guys have a guy we're supposed to answer questions, to go get our questions answered at right here. He can't answer them either. How do you huddle around Tim Nugent and think he's a hero? Really? You know, when water was first done, who got a job at Aqua and had to resign because it was a conflict of interest? Tim Nugent. You guys do listen about anything, go back and look at anything that's been going on in here, in this town? Or you just keep following the leader that's going to take you down the road to nowhere? I just don't understand how you can hurdle around this man and think he's a hero and agree with everything he says. It's unbelievable. I just wish he was here tonight. I'll just have to wait a couple more weeks for him then. The look on the faces, you'd be shocked. Maybe later on you can watch this video and look at your own faces. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Can't even raise your hands.
Thank you. Next gentleman is David Kiken.
Good evening. Thanks for answering the question.
Thank you.
I've learned that you don't come here to really ask questions because you never get questions answered. And when one of you wanted to answer questions, then he was told by the attorneys not to answer any questions. I don't understand a board that is representative of us as citizens, why there is no transparency. I don't understand why we had a regular village board meeting on the 15th of April, but you had to wait for a special board meeting on the 22nd, a week later, in order to present a budget to nobody that was here. There was no comments. And then on May 6th, you have another regular meeting. Why couldn't the budget have been approved either the 15th or May 6th? And it can't be because the fiscal year started May 1st, because Bourbonnais' fiscal year starts May 1st, and they are voting tonight to approve their new fiscal year budget. Just want to make some comments, and I read that about them voting on it in the Daily Journal, the weekend Daily Journal. And I don't understand, Mr. Breach, the thing that the Journal has with pushing this Goshen or saying how great it is. When this first came about, I was all about the toxicity of everything that was going to happen, which Mr. Thielen, what's his name? Yeah, what's his first name? Chuck Thielen. It's not toxic. There's a video online where he says this is what the plant in Michigan is going to make. It's the final thing, and he puts his finger in and sucks on his finger, and everybody's supposed to believe that's what it is. I just hope when we start getting the stuff from the plant in Big Rapids that the board here will stick their fingers in it and taste it too. But the Journal really pushes the pro-Goshen thing and thinks we should be in cahoots with the CCP, which the CCP in China, the People's Republic of China, remains the world's biggest jailer of journalists, according to the World Press Freedom Index of 2024. Press freedom in China continues to deteriorate under CCP rule. The Chinese citizens journalist situation is especially dire. As May 3rd,
Thank you, that's your
World
time.
Press Freedom Day. Thank you, Mr. $120,000 a year time.
Thank you. Next item is Denise Nicholson. Yes. Sorry.
Hi, good evening. I just want to speak on what I spoke on 2 weeks ago. Mr. LaRock wasn't here, and it was kind of a little bit directed towards you. On March 4th Village Hall meeting, Tenco Phase 2 excavating was awarded $2,075,972.75. At the special board for Thies Park, for a special board meeting, which again I didn't know about, otherwise I would have come. Mr. LaRock, when you mentioned at I think it was 11 minutes and 22 seconds on the video that Thies Park would probably cost an additional $1 million, and my question was why? Why so specific on accepting a bid with even 75 cents at the end, and now needing an additional $1 million? As I said 2 weeks ago, that's a 50% increase. That's $1 million increase. And then today, I wasn't planning on speaking, but I see that you're going to vote on Legacy Park Phase 1 for Tenco construction for $100.14. Again, the bid is very specific, but will it cost more later on? what exactly are you doing to Legacy Park, and why Tenco? People have told me that Tenco is Mr. Nugent's family or a relative. If that's true, that's nepotism. And we're talking $3 million alone for Tenco, for These Park, an additional $500,000 for Legacy Park for Tenco. That's $3.5 million for Tenco if he's a relative of our mayor. I just find that, I don't know, uncomfortable, wrong, and I guess I'm asking, does anybody here sitting here feel uncomfortable that you're giving the mayor, or the mayor is giving jobs, million-dollar jobs to his family or relatives? Is there not any other construction people around? I mean, to me, honestly, this doesn't look good, especially since Nugent was secretive about Goshen, and he signs an NDA, not as the mayor, but as a Kankakee Economic Alliance president, which I think is a conflict of interest. Money seems to be going to his family. It kind of sounds to me like the original Mayor Daley machine, Mike Madigan, Ed Burke, kind of politics. And 2 of the 3 have been taken to court for helping their friends out on deals. I don't...
Thank you, that's your time.
Thank you.
Can I say this, and I went to the village hall about this, the timing. Can you put a clock up maybe in front so that we can see how much time we have left? That's just a suggestion.
Sure. Thank you. That concludes our... Okay. That concludes public participation. So the next item I have is the reading of the minutes. In everyone's packet, there was the minutes from the last meeting of May 6th in there. We need to approve those. Any motions?
I'll make that.
Motion by Boyce, second by Martin. Roll call.
Boyce?
Yes.
Martin? Dole?
Yes.
Crockett?
Abstain.
Geske?
Yes. Next item is Village President's Report. There's a request by Manteno High School football for the fundraising program that they have of selling discount cards. Inside everyone's packet, there was a copy of the application that was filled out by the school. I would like to move that we approve this, however, with wording on it that all businesses that are listed on that discount card be in fact in business at the time of the sale of these cards. The last 2 years, the vendor who the school has been using has inadvertently put some businesses on those cards that are not in business any longer, including the school or the village golf course. So I don't think that's a very good look, and I've talked with Coach Haynes about that, and they are aware of it and are making those changes. So I would move that we approve it with that conditional stipulation to it. Any second?
I'll second that.
Second by Dole. Roll call.
Okay, so we will add to this motion that all businesses listed on the card must be currently active and in business, correct? Okay, Geske?
Yes.
Dole?
Yes.
Boyce?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
That's it.
Forgot about me.
Oh, Crockett, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I didn't forget about, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on, Village Administrator's Report. Mr.
I think I
Lott?
just have one item, since this is Ryan Marion's last board meeting. I just want to publicly say how much I've enjoyed working with him, what a great job he's done for the village. Came in as a fairly young man, and obviously cared a great deal about the village and the job, and for his 30th birthday, the village gave him an ulcer. So that just shows how much he really cared about what he was doing. We'll certainly miss him. He's been a great asset to the village, and we really appreciate all you've done, so thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris.
Yep, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Ryan.
Next is Public Works and Utilities, trustee Boyce.
I have nothing on items tonight. Thank you. I do have a meeting on Tuesday, the 28th of this month at 7 a.m. That's it.
Okay. Properties and Recreation, trustee Martin.
No old business. New business, I have consideration and motion to approve a contract for Legacy Park improvements, Phase 1, to Temco Excavating, River A, at a cost of $595,100.14. And that's it.
Okay. Just to,
Jimmy, can you comment on the bid process?
Yeah, we had the bid opening last week. There were 4 companies: KVCC, Tenco, R&R, Gallagher Asphalt. Lowest bid by $110,000. All the bids are sent in, double seal, double manila envelope. Bid opening was performed by Bruce Hill with HR Green as our local engineer, and it includes both the parking lot at the south side, extending that, milling, overlaying the existing, and then adding a path out to the pond on the south side there.
okay. So, because there were questions asked earlier, hopefully that addresses what we're doing. As far as the cost and why we're providing it to Tenco, the next closest was $105,000, which is 20% of the overall budget cost. And if we look at the 2 other companies who are local, Gallagher and KVCC, they're both substantially higher than that. So I don't necessarily know that. If there are any other comments, Jim?
I could touch on that. Thies Park, the extra $1 million Chris was referring to was materials purchased that the village is purchasing outright that wasn't included in the bid. Stuff that included the pickleball equipment, enclosures or pavilions for the pickleball area, the dugouts for the wiffle ball, the volleyball, the bathroom, the facility. All that was purchased through Sourcewell. So it's a bidding that the state and national to purchase things that add up and things that we were able to purchase. So
Part of that also is because if Tenco buys all that stuff, they pay 5% or 6.25% sales tax on that. Where when the village buys it directly, we're waived that sales tax. So it saves the taxpayers even more money by not having to pay sales tax.
we've utilized that for machines and lawnmowers and all sorts of, actually one of the big ticket item for Thies was the turf for the bocce ball and the wiffle ball. So it adds up.
And you talked about that at that meeting. You said
Yeah.
Sourcewell, and you said all of that at the meeting that was approved.
That was suggested to us by HR Green and one of the companies they use. They said, hey, take this out of the bid. We purchase it outright. We have it delivered, and then the contractor does all the installs. So it seems like it works out.
So just to be clear, Jim, and we know the answer, but some people do not. And understandably, when we all started here, we were not aware of it either.
He's explaining it, you don't know nothing about it. That's what he's explaining.
Excuse me. When these bid processes go, each company is bidding on the exact same specs. Everything is identical, correct?
Correct.
And those bids, nobody in this room sees those bids prior to them opening by our village engineer, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And we have no idea what the village estimate, the engineer's estimate is.
Yeah, generally, we don't even know till the day we open it up, and he's got it listed right there, and by the time that is, it's too late for anybody else
Can I
to...
ask you a question? I mean, I know it's inappropriate.
Go ahead.
At Urban A, they just had a thing in the Daily Journal that the bids were within $35,000. Why is it when we go out to bid with stuff, there's such a wide range of numbers?
You have to ask the contractors who bid. Unfortunately, we don't.
I'm just asking because there was a big thing in the Daily Journal, they just wrote up about the park, that they were within $35,000. They were to go back and they were to double check. I'm just asking, why there's such a wide range of bids.
Sir, I've been on this board for almost 16 years, and I've seen bids that have come across that have been within a couple $1,000s of each other. In fact, I think I've seen a few that were within hundreds of dollars.
I understand all that, Mr. Crockett, I'm just asking for the last couple of bids. Very substantially.
Yeah, but
And
Jimmy,
sometimes, you know, being a contractor myself, I know that there can be wide swings in bids, okay? But that's not the case all the time.
and the other bids were closer to the village engineer's estimate, so we saved a lot more money.
Okay. Any other questions or comments, Mr. Martin, with your
Oh,
public
no,
safety?
hold on.
Okay, your next meeting
As needed.
as needed, okay? So nothing scheduled. Planning and zoning, trustee Crockett.
Thank you, Pro Temp Mayor.
I'm sorry.
I'm either thought about or forgotten about.
See, there you go. Public safety and health, trustee Dole. I apologize.
There we go. So no action items on the agenda tonight. My next public safety meeting is Tuesday, June 25th, 7 a.m. here in the Village Boardroom. So my safety tip for today is with warmer weather comes more evening police activity. Most home and car burglaries occur during the summer months. Remember the 9 p.m. routine. The 9 p.m. routine is nightly reminder residents to remove valuables from their vehicles, lock their vehicle doors, lock the doors to their residence, turn on exterior lights, and activate all alarms and security systems. As always, if you... Pardon?
Black hoods walking around.
You know what, here's the deal. If we're going to be interrupted, I'm going to ask that you be removed.
I don't care.
Then,
Okay, see you later.
thank you.
As always, if you see or hear anything suspicious or see suspicious activity on your security camera, please call the Manteno Police Department. And I believe they have answered your calls, and maybe not to what you wanted to listen to, but I don't, that's the first I've heard about this van traveling through the neighborhood. Okay. Just wanted to say a couple things about Saturday night. You might have heard some sirens and honking Saturday around 9:15. Thank you to the Manteno Police Department and the Fire Department to bring the middle school track team home for the state fair for the second year in a row. The girls have been 3A champs for 2 years. It's pretty awesome. And according to a very excited middle school Facebook page that I did happen to look at the school page, these girls ran, jumped, and threw their hearts out this weekend, and it paid off. Way to go, ladies. Also, congratulations to the high school graduates this past weekend and the 8th grade graduates on this Thursday. Good luck on their next adventure. Also, what's going to keep going, I guess, we got, it's a busy weekend with Memorial Day, and we have at the cemeteries, we have St. Joe's Cemetery schedule includes 8 a.m. at DeZelm, 8:30 a.m. at Blooms Grove, 9 a.m. the Veterans, and that's out by Diverse Tech, 9:30 at St. Joe's, and 9:50 at Elmwood. And this is where the color guard performs, and it's very moving. And after the cemetery has concluded, there will be a parade that begins at the Legion Post at 10:45 and marches to the Legion Park for Remembrance Service at 11 a.m. Parade and participants include the Manteno Color Guard, the police, the firemen, the veterans, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, and honoree Aaron Drexler, a recent Manteno High School graduate who also will play taps at all 5 ceremonies. And like I said, if you haven't gone, it's memorable. So, and obviously, I guess I'll just keep going on because tomorrow night is cruise night, and tomorrow night is intrinsic arts also. And then the following weekend is Ride for Life Cancer Run on June 1st, and registration is from 10 to 12 at the Sportsman's Club, and shotgun start at 11:30, and I know a lot of times everybody will line up on Main Street to see all the motorcycles go by, and this is their 23rd annual. And also that same day, Manteno is extremely busy because Heroes and Hogs and Hot Rods will be at 12 to 9:30 at 2nd Street here. So anyway, it's a busy busy next couple of weeks, so, and that's all I have.
Okay. Now it's your turn, trustee.
Thank you. Thank you. We have no items on the agenda this evening. Our next Planning and Zoning Committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, the 28th, 7 a.m. here in the Village Boardroom. The next Planning Commission meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, June 11th, 6 p.m., also here in the Village Boardroom. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you. Under Finance, the only item I have is payment of bills in the amount of $223,014.36, of which none are TIF bills. There have been no bills authorized and paid between board cycle. And our next Finance Committee meeting has been changed to Tuesday, June 25th at 7 a.m. right here at the Village Boardroom. Under General Government, Trustee Phillips does not have any action items on the agenda. Since there are only 2 items on the agenda, rather than having a consent agenda, we could just vote on them separately. So I would entertain a motion to award the contract for Legacy Park Improvements, Phase 1, to Tenco Excavating in Bourbonnais, Illinois, at a cost of $595,100.14. Is there a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Crockett, second by Martin. Roll call?
Crockett.
Yes.
Martin. Boyce. Dole.
Yes.
Geske.
Yes. And then entertain a motion to approve payment of bills in the amount of $223,014.36, which do not include any TIF bills. I will make that motion. Second, please. Second by Boyce. Roll call?
Geske.
Yes.
Boyce. Martin. Dole.
Yes.
Crockett.
Yes.
Okay. Comments? Trustee Boyce.
No comments tonight, thank you.
Trustee Martin. Trustee Dole.
No comments.
Trustee Crockett.
Yeah, Ryan, you're going to be greatly missed. The years that you've been here, you've done an outstanding job. I've loved working with you. I know, it's kind of a thankless job. You're put in some tough positions that many of us in this room wouldn't want to be put in, but you did it professionally, and I'm proud to say that I had the opportunity to work alongside of you.
Thank you.
I'll second what you said, Trustee Crockett. You've done a great job for us, and you're going to be missed. Big shoes to fill, and I know we've got a few job postings out there, but I don't necessarily know that we're going to have anyone yet that can fill your shoes, but wait and see. Time will tell. So that said, motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Dole. Second. Second by Boyce. Roll call.
Dole.
Yes.
Boyce. Martin. Crockett.
Yes.
Geske.
Yes. Thank you for coming.